All right, it's time. I've been grinding for a long time. Y'all know that. And it's time I achieve one of my long lost goals. All right, I want 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm a little more than 30,000 away. So please, Pharaohs, help me run my sub count up in the month of September. If you watch this video, please subscribe to my channel. I want to hit 30,000 subscribers in 1 month to get to 100K. Again, we can do this, Pharaohs. I trust in my Pharaohs. Y'all done held me down and paid my bills for over a year, and I know we can do this together. We've been through a lot. The grind ain't never stopped, and we going forward in the month of September. I need about 30,000 subscribers in the month of September to achieve this goal. I'm finna grind my behind off to get to it. I know we got it in us. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. We finna do something amazing and have our moment by the end of September. 30,000 subscribers in 1 month. Let's go. All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. I want to say this side note real quick to the kids out there. Real quick. This is just on my heart, and I want to say this real quick. Don't ever feel like being black is a crime, kids. It's a privilege to be black. Just was on my heart. Anyways, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, thanks for everybody that supported me. 100K again. We still going for 100,000 subscribers by the end of the month. I don't even feel comfortable saying that in videos like this because this is straight honest truth. If I didn't have a platform like this, I'd be on my Facebook channel this or Instagram live channel this right now, these same sentiments, even if I wasn't a reporter in the public domain. We're talking about Ray Lewis. Y'all remember what I said about Ray Lewis a couple weeks ago. I was very candid and honest about what I thought about Ray Lewis and his legacy. It was fake. I think for so many years the media built Ray Lewis up after the murder trial as this great guy, this motivational guy who could get you pumped up. He can make you want to eat cereal without milk. He's just a great guy. He make you want to go to the gym. Buff, huge guy, motivational man. You book him for Sunday church if your pastor wasn't there. Just one of those men, right? That uncle. Everybody got one that you just want to go to for advice. I always know what to say. And then you got to really think about it. And I did that a couple weeks ago, and I really thought about Ray Lewis. I was like, wait, what? This ain't who he is. We gave him credit for something that he's really not. And things like this, I don't get surprised. For those who don't know, I'm going to put this on the screen right now. Nessa at Hot 97. Salute to Nessa. I never met Nessa, but I got a lot of love and respect for Nessa and her platform. I call her the new Angie Martinez over at Hot 97. All her interviews are positive. Y'all know I like the controversial type interviews a little more, but Nessa's just a positive spirit. Her boyfriend is Colin Kaepernick. You might have heard of him. Colin Kaepernick, former quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, has yet to land a job with any team in the NFL. A lot of people believe it's because of his stance. Let's just stop playing with it. Colin Kaepernick does not have a job in the NFL because he decided to kneel during the national anthem. If you want to make the case, and I study the NFL, if you want to make the case that Colin Kaepernick is not one of the best 30 quarterbacks in the NFL, even though I'd argue that he's better than Blaine Gabbert with the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm with you. I'll give you that, even though I believe he might be. If you want to say Colin's not one of the best 30 quarterbacks in the NFL, I'll give you that. But let's take it a step further. Every quarterback has a backup, right? Any given Sunday, a quarterback could go down with an injury. So now you're going to tell me Colin Kaepernick, a guy that was in the Super Bowl, what, 4 or 5 years ago? And he had by the way, people don't want to talk about this. Colin Kaepernick had a better Super Bowl, even though it was in a loss. He had a better Super Bowl than what Peyton Manning had a couple Super Bowls ago. Remember, Peyton was on them last legs. That defense won it. Von Miller won that Super Bowl. Let's just make that clear. Look at the stats. Colin's Super Bowl was better than Peyton's. I'm just saying. So we're talking about Colin. We're talking about him not having a position in the NFL. If you want to say he's not one of the top 60 quarterbacks in the NFL, then I got to kind of question your football acumen. Really? There's 59 other guys better than Colin Kaepernick. Is it really about winning? All right, let's I'll give you 60. If you think Colin's not one of the best 60 quarterbacks, I'll give you that. Fine. So now every quarterback's backup has a backup. Every roster has at least 3 quarterbacks because I've seen in NFL Sundays before that quarterback went down and then the backup of the quarterback went down. There's at least 3 quarterbacks on every team. So you mean to tell me that there's 89 quarterbacks better than Colin Kaepernick? Hell, shit. shit, if you think there's 89 quarterbacks better than Colin Kaepernick, a motherfucker on the street right now, real shit, could just get in a uniform right now and be better than Colin Kaepernick if that's what you're thinking. 89 other quarterbacks? When we got guys like Johnny Manziel believing they can make a comeback? Tim Tebow believing that he's going to get a position in the NFL? I'm just saying, it's not even, there's no way there's 89 better quarterbacks than Colin Kaepernick. And to give NFL teams the credit, I don't know what conversations, because Colin's not doing interviews right now. Maybe Colin doesn't want to be a backup's backup. Maybe he didn't want to do that. Maybe he's trying to compete for a starting job. Maybe that's the case. I don't know that. The Seahawks did come out, and Pete Carroll did say that we don't have a position for Colin. They said he's a starting quarterback. They was like, this wouldn't be a right situation for a backup. Again, I don't know if that's true or not. Colin's not doing interviews right now. With that being said, a picture surfaced the internet after Baltimore former linebacker, Super Bowl champion Ray Lewis came out a couple weeks ago, and you could just tell Ray Lewis had puppet all over it. Like, he was like, Colin, if you want to be an NFL quarterback, my brother, you gotta put this political stuff to the side. You gotta focus on football, brother. That's your bread and butter. Focus on football. That's what Ray Lewis was saying on FS1's Undisputed. Salute to Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. You gotta put all that political stuff to the side. What is that about? Are you a football player or you a activist? That's what Ray Lewis said. And a lot of people took shots at Ray, self included. Where's this talk coming from, Ray? What, you don't understand what's going on in the communities, especially being a Baltimore Raven? Isn't Freddie Gray Baltimore? I'm just kind of lost here. Even though Ray Lewis was somebody who did get behind Ray Rice after Ray Rice knocked the hell out of his. Never mind. I ain't even going there. I could play this game with you guys all day. Y'all know TALIAFERRO good for it. I can get petty all day. I ain't gonna even do that. So Nessa posted this picture online. For those who don't know, the bottom picture is Django, Samuel L. Jackson. In the movie, he played the master's puppet, right? He was, whatever the master said, he was the house nigga. He was the house slave, right? He was the slave that had a few more privileges than all the other slaves. He was the message man from the slaves that was in the cotton fields to inside the house to the white man, right? He was the one that told the slave, y'all better get y'all act together. He not playing. He was the slave that all the slaves wanted to get to. That was what they were working for. To be that slave, the house nigga, the one that his life was a little better than all the other slaves, right? Putting us against each other. He's hugging on to his master. I love you. Or I think at this point, the master might have got shot, if I'm not mistaken. Django might have killed him or something like that. But he's pissed that his white master is dead. And you got Ray Lewis hugging on to his owner at the time. And it's similar in how they look. And Nessa's message in this is, Ray Lewis, you're a slave. You're a slave. And you're speaking for the white man. Why are they not coming out and doing interviews? Why do they have you out here as a spokesman looking crazy? And I'm going to be honest. When I think about Ray Lewis, I can't believe we let him get away with that for all these years. I just can't. I cannot believe we let him get away with all that. Anyways, Ray Lewis came out today and said that the reason why Colin Kaepernick didn't get a job with the Baltimore Ravens because his girlfriend tweeted out that. All right? He said that. He said, the reason why I've been talking to the Ravens owner, I don't know why Ray is the message man. He was on a sports show with Showtime last night, and he was like, we were going to sign Ray Lewis. We were going to sign Colin Kaepernick, excuse me. By the way, Ray Lewis acts as, if I'm not mistaken, just a consultant for the Ravens. That's his position with them. They ask him, you got to know he has the ear of the owners. They consult them on people they're going to sign, controversial hires. They talk to Ray. Ray's still heavily involved in the Baltimore Ravens organization. He played his whole professional career with them. I get it. I'm not mad at that. But for him to come out and say that the reason why we didn't sign Colin Kaepernick was because of the tweet from Nessa, that's BS. First and foremost, Nessa was wrong for tweeting that out. Let me make that clear. Let me say that in the camera so y'all understand me perfectly. Nessa was wrong for tweeting that out. You might feel it, But you are not, that is not your position. And everybody, you're in the public domain. Everybody knows that's your boyfriend. You are not the person that needs, if Colin feels that way, let Colin tweet that out. You cannot have, I don't care if, whatever, if my future wife, if she's with her profession, if I say something to her boss, I'm out of line. Right? And I hope she give me the same respect in return. If that person doesn't authorize you to say something to their boss, out of line. Period. You don't step in that. You don't possibly alter somebody's career. They work too damn hard to get there. And Colin worked too damn hard to be having somebody else who's not even his wife. And I hope they do get married. I'm all black, I'm black love. But I'm just saying, you don't get the right to step in that. You a public figure. You pretty much were trying to call the Ravens owner a slave owner. Mr. Steve Biscotti. That's what you were saying. That ain't right. That ain't right. And I'm totally against that tweet. That's just not it. It doesn't make sense, right? For the little retweets that's gonna do, even if you feel it, that's not right. Because that's not right. You can't do that. You can't make somebody who's in the position to hire you think that you think they're a slave owner. That ain't the right way to go about it. Let me make that clear. But for Ray to come out and say we're about to hire him, that's BS. They were not about to sign Colin Kaepernick. They just now have an excuse to not sign him. That's to justify, right? They needed that excuse to not sign him. It's basic, right? It's core principles. If you're not going to do something, give me an excuse, then I can come out and say, well, I was never going to do it anyway. If if one of my partners needs some money, and I got the money, and they ask me the first time around, and I say no, and then one of my partners screams off, man, you a cheap MF. You don't never do nothing for us. Man, F you. And then I'd be like, see, that's why I was going to turn around and give you the money. I was about to head to the bank right now. But you talk too much. You talk too much. If my kid, they want to go on a trip, and I'm kind of against the trip, I'm on the fence, then personally I go do some research on the trip. And I say, okay, I'm going to let this kid go on the trip, give them a couple little things that I want them to make sure they abide by when they're on the trip. Make sure they're calling me, texting me, updating me. But my kid comes back and say, Dad, it's okay. I know you weren't going to let me go on the trip anyway. You never let me go anywhere. You never let me leave the house. You always want me in the, just around you all the time. You're not letting me grow up. Oh, excuse me, son, daughter. I was ready to sign the paperwork. I was just about to sign the dotted line on letting you go on this field trip. It's just how things are. People need an excuse to justify what they were doing. If this was really a thing, and I want to give credit to Shannon Sharp for what I'm about to say. This is not me. I got this actually from Shannon Sharp. Salute to Shannon Sharp, one of the black men on camera that's not afraid to say that he's black and be proud of it. I want to give Shannon some credit real quick. Shannon brought up a really great point today on Undisputed. If a white man deems a cause credible, they won't use the whole slogan of you need to stay in your place and play football. Right? Think about it. J.J. Watt, and God bless the people of Houston, but I'm just using this as an example. God bless the people of Houston. What they've been dealing with right now, right? With the flooding, it's unbearable, and if, obviously we sympathize with them. I don't empathize. I sympathize with the people of Houston and what they're going through right now. I couldn't imagine losing everything. I want to make that clear. I could not imagine losing everything. Floods, some people dying. Couldn't imagine it. J.J. Watt of the Houston Texans, their star linebacker, has been raising money left and right, up to $20 million for his cause. You don't hear anybody, and again, I'm crediting Shannon Sharp for this, you don't hear anybody coming out and saying, J.J. Watt needs to stay in his lane. He needs to stick to football. You don't hear anybody saying that, right? You bring up Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the national anthem. All you hear is, man, you a football player. Man, you don't need to be jumping in all that activism stuff. You hear it from Ray Lewis. I just told you that. You don't need to be jumping in all that stuff, that political stuff, man. You get paid to throw the football. You a football player. Get out there on that field, boy. You don't get paid to do all that stuff. Go on now. You want to play or do you want to be an activist? You don't hear nobody. You don't hear nobody saying, good job, Colin Kaepernick, like they're doing with J.J. Watt. And by the way, congratulations to J.J. Watt. It is a great job. Let me make that clear. I'm just trying to kind of put out the hypocrisies of this country. That's because a white man believes that a flood could happen to them. Or a white owner, or the NFL rather, believes a flood it can happen to anybody. It's a national disaster. That flood could happen to them. You want to know why they don't sympathize with Colin? And Colin has donated money, $1 million at least. And more than money, the brother has donated his time to the cause. You want to know why they don't sympathize with Colin Kaepernick? These white owners don't believe that they could ever be stopped by a police officer and be killed at a traffic light. That's the truth of the matter. So they don't get it. And that is the point. You don't get it. That's the whole point. Again, I credit Shannon Sharpe. That ain't me. I wish I would have came up with that because it's good. That ain't me. Oh, it's great when J.J. Watt is raising money for the floods because that owner, that could happen. That flood could happen to anybody. It's a natural disaster. You want to know why they don't sympathize with Colin Kaepernick kneeling for the national anthem? In the protests, why black people feel as if though we need to protest because unarmed black men are getting killed by police officers? Hell, Trayvon Martin, the guy, Zimmerman wasn't even a cop. He just did what he wanted to do because they don't believe that could ever happen to them or their kids. It's all about a systematic oppression to keep our people down. To think that racism is not alive and well, you're kidding me. It's literally what I just said that I got from Shannon Sharpe. Salute to Colin Kaepernick. I'm going to be honest with y'all, and I'm going to say this clearly. Colin Kaepernick will never play another game in the NFL. I'm convinced. And I don't need to lie to anybody and say, Colin, you'll get that position. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. He'll never play another game in the NFL. If we got this long and all this has came with it, every day it's a headline on some sports radio show or sports talk show, he's never going to get another job. Everybody's going to stand behind Nessa's tweet and just have a reason to justify it. The brother's never going to get another opportunity. Colin Kaepernick's career, he retired last year when he stood for the national anthem. Or rather sat and kneeled for the national anthem instead of standing. His career is over. I don't see anybody taking a chance on him. They'll rather take a chance on a less talented quarterback that doesn't come with drama. And to be fair to teams around the league, they have that right. They have that right. If Colin was going to be a starter, people put up with mess if you're going to be a starter. Greg Hardy was signed by the Dallas Cowboys. He literally laid his wife out after beating her on a stack of guns and threatened to kill her. When people think your talent outweighs the trouble, they'll find a way to sign you. For a backup quarterback, if I'm an owner, maybe I don't just think it's worth the time. And that's a right that they have. Let's give them that. They have that right. But don't come back and say, we're all about winning. If you're all about winning, there's a player that could help your team as a backup available, or maybe even your starter available. Don't say it's all about winning because it's not. It's about PR a little bit at this point in time. It's not all about winning. Maybe most about winning, but it ain't all about winning because there's a guy that can help your team. He's available right now, and you won't sign him because of the possibilities of him kneeling for the national anthem. And I don't know where Colin is at with it right now. Maybe I've heard rumors that he said he's done with that because he's made his point. He'll be standing this year. I don't know. I think he should still be kneeling. I think everybody should be kneeling at this point. And very unfortunate, man, that we're here. But hiding behind Nessa's tweet and saying that's why you guys don't want to hire him. You think we're very naive to think that's the reason why. That's just a cover-up that you guys now have as an excuse. And I mean, hey, man, it is what it is. Salute to Colin and his movement, but the brother's NFL career it's done. It's definitely done. There's no team that's going to sign him. Definitely not.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty.